The Ezio collection for Assassin's Creed is now out, and if you've been on this channel long enough, then you know that I absolutely love this series. And today I want to let you know why these three games, the Ezio collection, why I consider this to be the best of the Assassin's Creed series. This collection includes Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, along with all of the DLC tied to those games. Seeing a remastered saga like this gets me excited to revisit my favorite series in the franchise, and I just really enjoy playing Ezio. Who doesn't? He's such a complicated character, and seeing his growth through these three titles really makes you get attached to him. There were a lot of moments in this franchise that made this one of my favorite game series of all time, so allow me to name just a few of my favorite parts that I'm dying to see in the remaster. The prologue to Assassin's Creed 2. Do you remember playing the first Assassin's Creed? It had a Metroidvania sort of feel, having all of your cool upgraded weapons and skills taken away from you. The game introduced some awesome combat mechanics and platforming, but it lacked any sort of real connection to the main character, Altair. He was narcissistic and he lacked any real development over the course of playing as him. This is where the sequel really shined and got you invested in the characters right away. You start off as playing Ezio as a very cheerful teen with some charm to him. And although this segment of the game functions as a tutorial, you are already more attached to the protagonist than you were in the previous installments. Ezio attending the Renaissance, seeing his reaction to all of the things around him, showcasing his skills in a fight, and seeing how excited he is that he and his brother can climb to the top of a tower together made him more relatable than Altair ever was. Well, as relatable as you can get being a guy living during the Italian Renaissance, jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Ezio's journey. There's a reason why Ezio has such a big fan base and is widely accepted as the best assassin in the entire series. His charisma makes him approachable, and his sense of humor within the games make even the most tedious side missions enjoyable with his witty remarks with each cutscene. He takes things lightly, and you can tell that he enjoys what he does to an extent, but what I find to be the most enthralling about this character is how he developed in these three games. Assassin's Creed 2, he's portrayed as a simple and carefree boy until his family is framed and hung for treason. He never loses the child inside of him, and he's forced to grow up very quickly after putting on the assassin's hood, and this made his character both simple and complicated. He's fueled by revenge, but he still makes friends with some very important people in history as a whole. By the time Brotherhood rolled around, Ezio already had his revenge, and instead of walking forward with a greater purpose in mind, he loses that angst and anger, proving himself to be grown up at last. He built his Brotherhood, and he showed off his developed leadership skills, all the while searching for the apple. His time in Revelations and meeting up with a fellow assassin, Altair, was a great end to his story, especially if you watched Assassin's Creed Embers. Simplicity. If you've never played any of the Ezio featured games, then you might not understand this, but if you're like me and you've played them all from start to finish, then I'm sure you'll agree. The gameplay mechanics in this series never drastically changed from one game to another. However, with each passing game, it seemed like they tried to overcomplicate things. Assassin's Creed 3 is a great example, seeing as how it introduced some interesting naval combat sequences. Now, I love Black Flag, and I love the fact that you're more of a pirate than an assassin, and I think that that's why it worked out so well. You aren't doing any tedious informations for money, but for money that you can actually use. I respect Assassin's Creed 3 for what they tried doing, but not everything made much sense. A lot of the missions seemed like they were forced on Connor, and he just sort of nodded and said, okay, sure. Why not? Whereas Ezio's missions were concrete, the assassinations were solid, the combat was smooth, and each side mission made sense given that Ezio was a really good guy. Really. You never feel forced, and while a lot of them are repetitive and frustrating, Ezio makes it enjoyable without complaining about every little thing like Connor did. Everything was just so much simpler, except those feathers. Oh my god, I hate those little The music. Okay, enough of me complaining about Connor and Altair for a second. Let's just talk about something that everyone else can agree on. The music in this game is incredible. The mood changes entirely whenever the chase music comes in, and you know you have to escape the city. The moment you're completely safe and no one's around to see you, your heart can finally stop beating wildly while the music slowly fades into a peaceful and subtle ambient tone of the city. Every epic fight would be nothing without the scores in this game, and seeing your family killed becomes even more tear-jerky with the game's soundtrack. Even during the Desmond part of the three games, you're given such a rush when you finally find that apple. It's the perfect blend of time periods that you're in, and I don't think any of the other game's soundtracks can compete with it. Every score crescendos at the most pivotal moments, like meeting Altair in Revelations or the ending in Assassin's Creed 2. Just listen to what's been playing this whole time for a second. Assassin's Creed 2 got me into the series, and I can't wait to play it for maybe the 12th time, but hey, better graphics! We're thinking about doing videos like this to show our opinions, so if you liked this kind of format, be sure to like the video and let us know in the comments. This is a remaster, so it's technically new, but if you guys want us to cover some of the older titles that you might want to know why we enjoy them so much, then check out our Assassin's Creed playlist, and make sure to check out Natalie's video on the top 6 saddest recordings in the BioShock series. Subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter, and catch me on Twitch. I do some random streams at night and just recently purchased Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. That's all we have for today, guys, so I hope you enjoyed.